The movie begins with a man called Cal driving his car. He looks confused but decides to drive forward. He sees his electromagnetic measurement device and keeps watching the sky, then decides to get out of his car. He runs outside and looks up. There is a strange light up in the sky, but he does nothing other than watch. He then sits by the road. Afterward, a young man, Sean, takes out all the jewelry from his little brother Oscar's bag. Oscar asks him about it, but Sean reassures him that he needs money and heads directly to the store to sell it. The jeweler woman asks him about the jewelry, and he brushes off her question and agrees to sell it for $20. As they talk, Oscar goes around the store, picking things and putting them in his bag. He then goes to the counter and takes one of the pieces of jewelry without the woman's permission. Sean then commands Oscar to stay outside of the store. While Oscar is on his way out, a young man comes and starts to beat him, and both get involved in a tense fight. The young man warns Oscar not to come into his home, saying that if he sees him again, he will break his arm. Sean comes and stops the fight. Taking advantage of the distraction, Oscar hits the young man. Later, Sean and Oscar are on their way, walking and skating. Sean asks him what he did to the man. Oscar replies that he did nothing, hiding his argument with the man from Sean. But Oscar explains that the guy will keep coming back to him, though he reassures Sean that he only needs 30 seconds to take him down. Shortly after, they arrive at their house. Sean greets his grandmother, and both Sean and Oscar go to the kitchen, Sean checking for letters from Oscar's school and Oscar taking food from the refrigerator. Oscar takes a snack with him and sits on the couch. He then changes the channel on the TV and starts to watch. Sean asks him about the pills their grandmother takes. Initially, Oscar replies that he doesn't know where they are, but then he quickly tells Sean that she finished her pills last Sunday. Sean asks him why he didn't tell him earlier, since it has been 5 days since she finished her pills. However, Oscar doesn't take it seriously and explains that it doesn't matter because the medicine isn't working properly, adding that he will go to the pharmacy tomorrow. Then Sean gives Oscar a letter from Oscar's school and tells him to stop doing bad things and to give the pills to their grandmother. Oscar is displaying behavior that goes against the school's policy, and Sean is asked to contact the school immediately to schedule a meeting. However, Oscar doesn't care. As they are bickering about this, Sean's friend Nathan calls him from outside and tells Sean to come down and go to the party. Without hesitation, Sean agrees and tells him he will be there. Nathan asks to come upstairs, but Sean tells him to wait there and goes back home. He then puts some cash aside and commands Oscar to order pizza for their grandmother. He goes out and walks to the car. Nathan asks why Sean didn't invite him into his home. Sean explains that the house is messy. Their conversation shifts, and Nathan mocks Sean, telling him he sometimes should act like a teenager. Sean doesn't respond to that and instead lights his cigarette. Nathan tells him to be free that night and he can go back to acting like a Mormon. Sean gets in the car, but before Nathan gets inside the car, he commands Sean to push the car to start the engine. After the engine starts, they quickly head to the party, where there are a lot of young boys and girls attending. Sean and his friends seem comfortable. Suddenly, Sean sees a young woman, Alex, from a distance, and his mood shifts. It seems he likes her. Then he drinks whiskey with his friends. At night, while the party is still on, Sean's attention is on Alex, but she is with another guy. Nathan notices this and walks towards him. He tells him that she is looking good, but Sean points that she is with another guy. Nathan reassures him that she is not officially with anyone, and another guy also tells him that she has been with him, but Nathan reassures Sean that it is all a lie. While they are talking, Alex interrupts their conversation, and Nathan quickly departs to give them time to talk. The two stand in front of each other awkwardly, and Alex breaks the silence. She asks Sean about his grandmother. Initially, he wants to hide the truth and says his grandmother is fine, but then he tells her that his grandmother is not fine and even explains that most days she doesn't talk much. Then he asks her back about her stepmother, and she replies that she is good. Suddenly, he notices a tattoo on her arm, and she tells him that she got the tattoo a couple of months ago and that her boyfriend Tom got the same one too. Sean asks her if she is in a serious relationship with Tom, and she explains that it is not serious, but that she is having fun with him. Sean is not happy. He asks Alex if she has been intimated with Tom. She gets offended at this and confronts him, saying why he even cares. She tells him she understands that he is going through stuff, but he cuts her off, saying he doesn't need her pity. She retaliates, telling him that she would have been with him in a second different if he had asked her, but he reminds her that she wasn't. She then realizes that nothing is going to change and wishes him a good night and walks away. He then calls her from behind. He asks if they can talk somewhere else some other time. When he asks if she can call him, she tells him that she has changed phones, so she doesn't have his number. He looks for a pen and writes his number on her arm. He then turns to get himself a drink. At that moment, Tom arrives and takes her to go swimming with him, which makes Sean a bit jealous. Without showing it, he simply tells them to have fun and looks at them as they walk away. Alex goes swimming with Tom, spending joyful moments together. When Tom did a deep dive into the water, Alex stayed on the surface. When Tom got out of the water, Alex was nowhere to be found. Tom keeps searching for her, calling her name, but he doesn't find her. At the same time, Sean decides to leave the party, unaware of Alex's disappearance. He gets into his car and drives away. However, Alex is in the water, floating and remembering her flashbacks in a strange way. Later, Sean arrives home. He sees that his grandmother is sleeping on the couch. As usual, Oscar is careless, sitting and focusing on himself, playing a game on his phone without even checking on her. Sean orders Oscar to get her legs and they carry her. Together, Sean and Oscar manage to take their grandmother to her room. Later, Oscar gives pizza to his brother, and together they spend the night watching movies. Elsewhere, Cal is stressed and listening to the radio, but then decides to switch it off. Unexpectedly, while he is driving, something he didn't expect appears in front of him. Alex, who had disappeared earlier, is now walking on the street, and she is half naked, wearing only her swimsuit. He approaches, calling from behind. He asks what happened and gives her a cloth to wear. They go back to the car and Carl starts driving. Cal asks her what happened to her, but she doesn't say much. He asks where she lives so that he can take her home. Later, she gestures for him to stop where she wants, and he leaves her near the gas station. After getting off the car, Alex goes to the restroom but doesn't interact with anyone. She doesn't ask for help or inform anyone about anything, and she cannot remember anything. Then she changes her clothes. Unexpectedly, she finds a number written on her arm, the one Sean wrote on her arm at the last party they attended together. That night, Alex calls Sean. At first, she doesn't say anything, and as he is about to hang up, she finally replies and lets him know where she is. Sean quickly goes to the location she mentioned. He finds her with another person and asks what happened. The stranger woman explains that she found Alex half naked and gave her clothes but doesn't know anything more. The woman suggests calling the police, but Sean tells her not to and takes Alex with him. While on their way, Sean tells Alex that she can stay at his home if she wants and reassures her that she can sleep there. However, Alex is confused and unable to reply. It seems she has lost her memory. Sean and Alex arrive at Sean's home. He takes her to his room and asks if she wants to change her clothes. She takes out her jacket and sits next to him in bed. As she keeps coming closer to him, her nose starts to bleed. He stands up to give her his shirt to hold against her nose and helps her clean the blood. He tells her to lean back so that the blood will stop, and she lies down on the bed. He checks her on again and sees that the blood has stopped, so he takes the shirt away. Within a fraction of a second, she falls asleep. Sean takes out a blanket and sleeps on the ground after switching off the light. The next day, the news broadcasts a report about illegal aliens entering the country and criticizes the government for not taking strong action. In the morning, Sean wakes up earlier, but Alex is still asleep. He goes outside, but his car engine won't start. After trying for a while, he decides to use his skateboard to go to the pharmacy to buy medicine for his grandmother. He reaches the pharmacy and asks if he can get a refill. While he is out, Alex wakes up and starts checking through the house. The news broadcasts a report about an electrical surge at a large transformer, which lit up the night sky for several seconds. While Alex is in the kitchen, Sean's grandmother asks who is in the kitchen. When she doesn't get a response, she asks Alex if she is Janie. In the pharmacy, the news mentions a 17-year-old girl, Alex Laney, who was reported missing earlier that morning. She had last been seen at the Southland Energy Reservoir. Sean sees the news and quickly goes back to his home without mentioning anything to anyone, despite having seen the report. Unaware of anything, Oscar goes to the kitchen and prepares food for himself. Unexpectedly, their grandmother appears healthy, standing beside him and greeting him. He panics when he sees her like this. She commands him to clean up the kitchen and walks away. While he is trying to process this, he hears a sound from upstairs. Oscar, still unsettled, takes a knife and goes to Sean's room, where he finds Alex. However, something unexpected happens. happens. The both get startled, and Oscar points the knife at him, but the knife he is holding floats in the air, and the power goes out, revealing that Alex has some kind of power. When Sean arrives home, Oscar and Alex are sitting, staring at each other. Without wasting any time, Oscar explains the situation and tells him that the girl has powers. When Sean mentions Alex, Oscar becomes more confused because he thinks Sean doesn't know her. Sean then tells Oscar that Alex needs to go home because her family believes she is missing. Sean asks Oscar about their grandmother, and Oscar tells him that she went out. Confused by the situation, Sean asks where their grandmother went. Sean can't believe what he is hearing because he knows their grandmother is unable to walk or talk after her illness. Oscar tries to explain that she is now fine and well. As the confusion is setting in, they are interrupted by their grandmother, who brings food from the market. Sean tries to introduce Alex, but their grandmother replies that she already knows her. Sean looks at her in awe and asks how she is doing. Their grandmother brushes his worries as nothing and tells him that she actually is fine. However, Sean and Oscar still don't understand the mystery behind their grandmother's sudden good health. Later, Sean tells Alex that he is confused about his grandmother. While they are walking, Alex sees the distant mountains and has a flashback. Sean tells her that they should hurry because the cops might come, and Alex agrees. Sean then asks her if Tom gave her anything. However, Alex doesn't remember Tom, even though Sean mentions him as her boyfriend. He also asks her why she didn't call Tom instead of him, but she doesn't reply. Alex goes in the opposite direction of her house, and Sean gestures to her about the correct directions, mocking her by asking if Tom got better drugs or if she could have chosen a better boyfriend. Alex and Sean arrive at Alex's house, where her stepmother is with a police officer. Her stepmother scolds her. She asks where she has been, but Alex doesn't have an answer for that. They found all her belongings by the reservoir, and they assumed she had been dead. The officer tells them to step in, including Sean. Her stepmother calls someone to tell them Alex is back. Before more conversation can happen, Alex grabs Sean's hand and goes upstairs to her room. Her stepmother calls from behind, but they get in and close the door. In her room, she takes off her jacket and starts to look around. She then falls into a deep flashback when she sees a picture of herself. At that time, Alex's stepmother starts knocking on the door, calling her name. Sean asks her to talk to her stepmother and suggests she tell her stepmother that she didn't do anything, but her attention is caught by a flock of birds out the window. Alex tells Sean that they shouldn't have come to her house. She then asks him what is beyond the mountain, staring at the distant peaks. Sean doesn't know and guesses that it is just desert, but Alex dismisses his idea. Alex quickly changes her clothes while her stepmother and the police officer stand at the door, asking her to open it. But instead of opening it, she looks at Sean and pushes him to the window. Then they both fall out of the window with her on top of him. As they are about to land on the police car parked outside, she uses power to keep them floating, and after they got close to a point where they wouldn't get hurt, she made them fall on the car. Alex's stepmother and the police officer get into Alex's room, but it is empty. They walk into the window and realize they have jumped through the window, so they head outside. Sean is confused by the situation, but Alex, without explaining, takes the police officer's car. Sean stays behind along with her stepmother, and the officer looking at her as she drives away. After a little hesitation, he runs towards her and catches up to the car. He tries to talk to her and gets in the car, leaving her stepmother and the police officer behind. Later, noticing Sean's fear, Alex tells him to go back and tell them that she forced him to come with her. Sean reminds her that she did force him when they jumped from the window. Sean then asks her how she managed to make them float using her power. Alex explains that she was underwater, drowning, but something in the water was with her and helped her survive. She says she still feels its presence and shows Sean what she means by placing his hand on her chest, but she can't fully explain what it is. When he touches her chest, he starts feeling like everything is shaking. He asks if she is now magnetic, but she doesn't know. Sean then brings a can and asks her to do something to it. Initially, she is hesitant because she doesn't know what to do. Sean tells her to do the same thing she did before, so she tries to move the can. She fails on her first attempt. Sean picks the can to throw it out, but she asks him if she can try one more time, so he puts it in front of her again. She starts to move it again, but the can doesn't move. She gives up and turns to see Sean, but he is terrified. He then shows her she actually moved the entire car, and now they are on the air. She gets shocked and she lets it go and the car falls back to the ground. Afterward, Sean and Alex decide to continue on foot. They enter a bar and Sean goes to the waitress to order food and drinks, but he only gets water for himself. The bartender asks him if he is okay and Sean replies that he is fine. Sean asks Alex if she remembers anything. Alex reassures him that she knows everything that happened, but can't remember anything clearly except for the previous night when Sean came to pick her up. Sean remarks that he is lucky she called him and begins telling her he feels like they are Bonnie and Clyde. She tells him she doesn't know who that is. Then the waitress comes and brings the order Sean placed, but she warns them that the guys sitting nearby have been watching them for a while. Quickly, Sean decides to leave the bar, but they are stopped by two guys and Tom. Tom asks Alex if Sean kidnapped her. After she reassures him that Sean didn't, Tom insists on taking her to her family. He forcefully grabs her hand and tries to lead her to his truck, but her powers activate. The truck flips over, her powers create a disruption, and Tom's car is crushed. Alex manages to escape with Sean. Suddenly, Cal appears unexpectedly and tells them to get into his car if they want to escape. He tries to remind Alex that he was the one who gave her a ride the first night and reassures her he has something to tell her. Trusting him, they decide to go with Cal. While they are on their way, Cal gives Alex a piece of clothing made of lead. She asks him why she needs to wear it, and he explains that it is for protection from her. She decides to wear it to avoid causing any injury to them. Afterward, Cal shows them a video, but Sean dismisses Cal's attempt to clarify what he has discovered, as Sean still doesn't understand it. Sean asks if Cal is talking about an alien or a spaceship. Cal explains that it is not related to a spaceship or an alien, it's just light. He tells them that the people searching for Alex are terrified because they have no idea what they're dealing with. Sean then asks how Cal knows about all of this. Cal reassures him that he used to work for them and was previously sent to clean up the mess, alter hospital records, and destroy evidence. Alex asks Cal if there is anyone else like her. Cal explains that there are 7 other close proximity centers, but tells her that no one has survived for more than 6 hours, reassuring her that she is the only one who has survived beyond that time. Frustrated, Alex goes to the restroom to calm herself down. Cal then warns Sean to stay away from Alex because he could be exposed to a type of radiation. Sean hesitates, but Cal insists, advising him to take his warning seriously. Afterward, Cal explains that in 1997, a Chinese radio telescope picked up a signal that was thousands of years old and contained complex symbols entirely new to them. He shows Sean a device they built to project the symbols into the sky and explains that they attempted to communicate and received unexpected answers. Cal adds that Alex is proof of their findings. He then suggests revealing the case to the public and tells them they will leave in the morning. Meanwhile, Oscar calls Sean and tells him that a bunch of cops are looking for him, placing the blame on Alex. Oscar asks Sean when he will come back, but Sean is unsure about returning home. However, he hides his feelings and tells Oscar he will be back soon. While they are talking, the network connection is poor. Before the call ends, Sean tells his little brother that he loves him. Later, Alex asks Sean if he trusts Cal. Sean hesitates, feeling confused about the situation, and both of them remain unsure whether Alex is an alien or not. Sean reassures her that he is fine with who she is. Alex then asks him about the necklace he has, and he tells her that she gave it to him, but she doesn't remember anything about it. Sean tells her that he wishes he could forget many things, like his mother leaving, his grandmother being sick, and the moment Alex left him. Then Alex shows him his neck, where he is injured from when they jumped out of the window. The next day, without informing anyone, Alex goes out and runs away. On the other side, Sean wakes up, but he feels abnormal, weak, sweating, and seemingly sick. Later, he manages to get out and walk along the road, gradually regaining his strength. When Cal goes to check on them, he finds that they are gone. Meanwhile, a group of police officers arrives at Cal's house to search for Alex. They thoroughly search the house. Kate, Cal's former teammate, leads the police team and asks Cal if Alex is stable. He replies that it has been 28 hours and reassures her that Alex is different from the others. Then another police officer comes and reports Alex's location. Immediately, they decide to head out to find her. After many attempts to find her, Sean finally locates Alex. She is frustrated and tells him to let her go and get out of her life, but Sean insists that he doesn't want want her out of his life. Alex then tells him that she is making him sick, and Cal confirms this. Sean explains that Cal is wrong and admits that his grandmother had been sick for 2 years, but after Alex showed up, she suddenly became normal and healthy. He tells Alex that it's not a coincidence, but her power. Alex hesitates to believe him. Sean then kisses her, and they decide to go together by bus, putting himself at risk. While they are on their way, a kid in the front seat plays with them by gesturing, but Sean starts coughing in an abnormal way, a clear sign that something is wrong with him. Unexpectedly, the bus is stopped by armed soldiers. Sean and Alex have nothing to do as the men use devices to detect electrical power. When the device reaches Alex, it shows a high power reading. Without hesitation, they take her. Sean shouts and tries to stop them, but it's all out of his control. While they are on their way, Sean is suffering. He is sick, shaking, and his face is covered in sweat. The staff take Alex to a laboratory for further investigation, leaving Sean alone in a room. Kate comes in to gather more information from Sean. Sean asks to see Alex, but Kate explains that the radiation emitted from Alex has hurt many people and seems contained within her. She tells him that he has suffered secondary exposure, which is making him very sick, and announces that he will not be allowed near Alex until they manage to contain the situation. Meanwhile, the scientists examine Alex in the laboratory. She has been given a localized paralytic agent to immobilize her from the neck down. Now unconscious, Alex is unable to control the situation. Kate informs Sean that Alex has been chosen as a means of communication, but she admits that she doesn't know if it was intentional or not. Sean tries to get more information and asks who is trying to reach out, but Kate, also confused, tells him that it's a difficult question to answer. Kate explains that the technology they used had only limited success in gathering information from them, and reassures Sean that they are radiating across the full electromagnetic spectrum. She suggests that these entities are ancient, possibly the beginning of everything, even predating the Big Bang. Alex regains consciousness, and the electrical power in the laboratory begins to fluctuate. Everyone around panics as the radiation levels exceed safety limits. The scientists scramble to escape as everything descends into chaos. Sean, despite being sick and weak, pushes himself toward the room where Alex is held and manages to get inside. Unexpectedly, Alex gains full consciousness but finds Sean weak and struggling to breathe. She takes him upstairs, attempting to escape the situation. Kate calls out to Alex from behind, but before any further conversation can happen, Alex uses her power to activate the solar panels around them. She manages to communicate with the entity, and a beam of light descends from the sky to the earth. The light restores Sean's strength, leaving him surprised by the situation. He wants to interact with the light and asks Alex not to leave, but Alex replies, telling him to let her go, and she disappears with the light. 3 months later, Sean returns to his normal life. His little brother, Oscar, is skateboarding but accidentally falls. Sean helps him stand up. However, Sean is being watched by detectives, though he ignores them and moves on.